great. Well, I was just introducing you to the live, to everybody, and I was just sharing with the urban community that we're trying to do more often this sort of lives to give people space eventually if they have some Kickstarter, Indiegogo, any sort of crowdfunding, and they're trying to get more visibility for their projects. Differently from other platforms, we are not interested in charging anybody for doing that. It's mostly like literally trying to offer people a platform to get some support. And like for ourselves today, we'll just be sharing the link of our Kickstarter, which we're primarily using to cover up costs for post-production and distribution of The Filmmaker, a short comedy satire about an emerging young director trying to make it in the industry and all the sort of roller coaster difficulties that they stumble across. And Lauren, in this film, she played a very important role, and she was the production coordinator of Jamie in the film. So we try to sort of tell the story of people working in crew. And I will shut up now. I'll just leave it to Olivia to share a little bit more about Lauren from herself.
Yeah, so like you said, Lauren is the assistant coordinator that Jamie met on previous shoots of his. And in the film, our scene is kind of Lauren coming into, kind of interrupting a conversation that he's having with another character, George, and kind of is a little bit patronizing, I'd say, towards him, asking, you know, what are you up to? Are you doing anything? But kind of working the room at the same time, because it is a bit of a dog-eat-dog situation of trying to elevate yourself and making sure you're talking to the right people in order to get and build yourself up. So yeah, at the end of their interaction, she cuts him off and just walks off, and she's like, oh, hello, like to another person who she considers is worth her time a bit more. So yeah, Lauren was an interesting character to play.
Yeah, very witchy character. I feel like, you know, looking back, we didn't do many shots because I think you were sort of good at first. Like, you know, it was working so well first take, and I really enjoyed it. I mean, to be honest, we started, I remember we started with some voiceover because we have we don't say that because otherwise it's a big spoiler, but there is a scene towards the end when we have Lauren speaking over the phone with Jamie. And in that specific moment, like, I think that's the first time that Erasm, our Jamie, saw you and heard you. And I remember once you finished the first take, voice take, he was like, so mean. I love that.
She's so mean. And
yeah.
Our makeup artist that was on set, she was like, you come across so nice, but you're really, like, that was really mean. And I was like, that's not me. Like, yeah, this character is quite
edgy, yeah.
She doesn't beat around the bush. Is very black and white, I guess is the right word. Like, she just kind of says it how it is. Doesn't care if she upsets you, because she probably won't ever see you again, because there's so many Jamies coming through the system.
Yes.
That she's like, why do I need to bother with you, kind of thing. So I think that's why, without spoiling it.
Yeah. I like that sentence.
Impactful as it is for that scene, it's kind of impactful, so that it's actually a bit like,
Yeah, I really like what you said. There are lots of Jamies sort of going into the system. It's exactly that. Like, she also, I mean, she's very pragmatical. She's a production coordinator, so her role makes her, I think, become even more straightforward, and probably she might sound harsher than what she even thinks herself to be. And that's something that I honestly enjoy, the double standards, because I mean, in that scene, Jimmy's being beaten up, like, honestly, like, metaphorically speaking, but he's getting slapped from everyone he meets in conversation, and it's just the usual, I would say, like, perfect politeness, which I don't want to attach to any nationality, but it's very stereotypical politeness that there is in that circumstance. When you go to a rap party, and there are, like we were talking just before connecting in the live about hierarchy and how people treat you based on what you do on set. And these things, like, I actually, if you want to share what you were saying before, obviously, because of NDAs and stuff, we don't obviously refer to productions, but it's good to, I think, call out on scenarios.
Yeah, it's just so interesting because I mean, I think from the outside, people know that this industry is, I think they know that it's tough, but I don't think they know how tough it is. And I think that is actually reflected even when you're on set and you've booked the job and you've done the self-tape, you've done the in-person audition, you've booked it, and you're there, and everybody else has gone through that same process, and to kind of see. Not all the time, but sometimes you can see, because it's such a dog eat dog world, I think it's embodied in people that you kind of have to still look down on other people that might not have as high a role. If you're an extra or a day player, I've had it in the past where people who are the leads might not bother with you, or might not talk to you, and it's quite interesting to kind of see that dynamic, because we're all in the same position, because just because this time you're the lead doesn't mean that next time you won't be. And I think sometimes it's, you can't, I don't know what the right word is, but like, don't burn your bridges because you're in a fortunate position at this time. Like, be nice to everybody, be kind. And I think kind of that's why this film is good, because Jamie has, his time. And yeah, like it's good to see that he doesn't change who he is throughout the whole thing. Like, he's still consistent with his respect towards people, how he talks to people, how he engages. I mean, my character in this is, like you said, not physically abusive, but very verbally, very passive. And, obviously he breaks the fourth wall and talks to the camera, and we hear more about what he thinks, but he's not rude back to Lauren. He's calm, collected, and I think if you can keep your sense of who you are throughout, set or life, I think that's when you're winning, rather than letting the role kind of define you. And, getting.
Yeah, very well said. I totally agree. And it's like, I was just thinking back to, I watched the other day an interview of Keanu Reeves, who gets beaten up a lot because his partner let her hair, gray hair grow, and she's beautiful as she is. Like, but everyone is making jokes about, oh, is his grandma or is his mother? It's like very nasty. And it's like, she's like not only the person that I love, but she's also the person that compliments me, because we believe that, we know in this social media fake, sort of Botox industry that leads on social and in Hollywood, when you are not allowed to grow old, he chose someone who doesn't care and who stays, with him because of who they are, not because of their fame. And I feel is the same, attitude. It's hard to stay truthful when you enter into this big machine. And one of the reasons I was really happy to share this character is because I feel everybody's going through the same route. It doesn't matter if they're cast or their crew. Everyone is starting from somewhere. And the only people who want to understand this story will probably feel it's very naive and will have a lot criticism towards it, is people that have had their red carpet laid out since they were children. Maybe they inherited the fame from someone else, so they don't like to climb up the ladder from nothing. Otherwise, I don't see many. I don't know. I mean, we'll see when people will watch it, but I have this feeling that he might become a fan's favorite because of the journey he goes through. So people can identify with.
I think that's it. Like you said, it's when you can identify with a character, you have an emotional attachment, and then you root for them, don't you? So, and everybody, like you say in like your big interview, we're all kind of I mean, all of us, like, we're starting out not knowing or having connections in this industry. Like, when I started, I didn't know anybody. Like, I wish that my family did.
Yes, of course.
But they don't. And do you know what? It means that whatever I achieve, it's because it's off my own back. And I kind of rather it be that way, whilst it's not the easier way.
Mhm.
It's more rewarding. So, yeah, actually, I was having a conversation with, I don't even know who, but like a few days ago about how, like, known actors and their children, how the children change their last name so that they're not as easily recognized.
Mhm.
So it's like when they then make their own way, it's because, they've not been seen. But I wonder how much that is the case, because you can only change so much. But it is who you know in this industry.
100%.
It's 50% who you know, 50% good luck. I know I've already reached 100, but it's who you know, luck, right place, right time, and skill. But the skill is like this, and
Yeah.
it's just luck, and it's right place, right time. And if you've got connections, then I mean, I can't blame people for utilizing them.
100%. I mean, networking, we are not like, obviously, it's networking is everything in this industry, and like sometimes it's the most powerful connection. That's it. Maybe wins over in a very important casting. But, I've worked on sets, which I won't mention, but I worked on big sets where I thought things were handled more like meticulously just because in my younger view, I thought they knew everything because they were at that level. And then you realize these people sometimes choose out of, well, what was the first of the list? Or, well, that one looked very nice in pictures, but then they saw him and then they cast him based on the pictures, and they probably had a live call, but they didn't have an in person, and they cast them. And then eventually, when they saw them in person, it's like, oh, it's not exactly what we were looking for. Like, man, you would have probably thought about it before you send out the big press, right? And I'm talking about big, big press. So you have to deal with this. Otherwise, it's going to be a big problem. And then you have to convince the writer, oh, actually, this is a good choice. We made the right choice. Don't go back and change this. It's gonna look bad on the press. But yeah, this is just one of those. So it's all about one's networking and through luck, as you said, and skill, it plays a role, but it's just once you got that part that then eventually you are allowed. Sometimes there are a lot of super skilled, super talented people that just didn't have the chance to show off how good they are. And that's actually, obviously, without going into much into the story, because we don't want to spoil it to the audience, but I'm wondering what's the way out of this. You read the script, so don't say it. But what could be the way out? How, and if that works, if that doesn't spoil the the whole soul that you said. Jamie stays consistent throughout. But what's next? What if we were to think of a sequel after we know what happened in the short? And I know because I've been thinking about it a lot, and I've been thinking of what could Jamie do eventually. And so to make it more understandable for our audience, what would you do if you were given, because that's the beginning of the story, if you were given a huge opportunity, like a once in a lifetime, would you give up a full-time job or, for a short-term opportunity, or you would eventually stay where you are and just say, well, next time I'm sure it's going to come for me. And I don't know if you were in Jamie's shoes, Lauren, what would you have done knowing, the struggle?
Yeah, it's such an interesting question, because I think it does come to that. Like, if you're living in London, rent is not cheap. You have to have a job. You have to have some kind of income. And I know lots of people that do similar jobs to me, which are really flexible jobs, and only like really need you a few hours like here and there. And also the company that I work for, they're brilliant. They know they're also from a performing arts background, so they know
Nice.
that if need to message and say, I can't come in on Tuesday, I'm on set, and you've only given them 3 days notice or 2 days, they're like, it's all good, don't worry. Like, you know that the job's going to be there for you once you're done. And I think that's kind of calmed me down in terms of that, because I have had it where it was so like soul destroying. I did an audition for a feature. For this role I didn't think I was going to get, because she was a real nasty piece of work. But turns out I can play those characters.
Yeah, you can. I honestly, if you're looking for an actress who's versatile and can do both the mean girl and and the actual nice person. I mean, she's genuinely a nice person, so she can go in the very opposite direction too.
But yeah, so I ended up booking it. And I was like, oh my God, I didn't think I was going to book this. And I couldn't actually make the production dates because my work wouldn't let me off. And I was like, so I was actually in that situation of, do I cancel this job, this potential for, you know, show real material, a good credit, good pay, like all this, or do I, and if I don't take it, I'm then at this other job, which is paying the bills that I need to be paid.
Right. So what did you choose? What did you choose? The second. Yeah. I mean, it's totally understandable. Ours is a fiction. I did Jamie's route once, and I was in a true conundrum. Yeah, it's really hard. I chose the first. It's really, really hard.
This is it, like, and now because of, I think sometimes you have to go through things in order to be like, that was the wrong choice. If it happens again in the future, I know what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
And as long as you learn from your mistakes, I think that you can build.
But at the end, don't be too harsh on yourself. I don't think there is a good or, right choice. It's always changing, right? That's a unique opportunity. I think it's more about what I used to, like when I had that sort of situation where I had to choose between that or that, I started making a list of the good, positive things and negative things and what could be better for me. And I started having calls with friends, trying to just reason about what would be the best choice. I called producers that I knew, line producers, just asked for recommendations, just general advice. Because it was like such a big, big opportunity and but short. And I was like, okay, would I really give up long term? So that's been the inspiration. People think about Jamie being based on real life events. This is the one that gave me the idea. But then obviously what happens in the story, including the choices that Jamie makes towards the end, it's not necessarily actually what I would do. I've sort of made him do something I would never want to do, because I wanted to take a distance from the character and say, okay, this is not me. This is one part of me, certainly. Like I love, and this is like the first time you read the script, and because you were reading your parts, you were also reading Jamie's. I mean, I was reading Jamie for you to get to your lines. And I remember you started laughing, and you remember that moment when we had, and you were like, oh, it's the first time. I mean, I don't want to say it. You say it. What did you say to me back then?
Well, it was just, it was honest. That's what it was. It was honest of how kind of we not feel about the industry, but how we feel with certain like roles.
Yeah.
And like that being a stereotype of that role, but you're like, oh my God. So it's not just me that thinks that is what other people think. And it was honest and true. And I think, everybody's kind of praised on being there, like being honest and open. And I think sometimes to actually put it down on paper and actually get it filmed and be like, this is the raw material, I think that takes a certain amount of bravery as well to do it. Because I know that we were talking about how you have to self-fund, and in your interview you spoke about how you can't really go up to people to fund your film and be like, oh yes, so you don't get insulted, but like we are talking about you. Sure. Can you fund it? Yes. So yeah, but no, there were definitely, when I was reading through the script in the audition, there were moments where I was laughing and I was like, "I'm sorry."
Yeah.
It just shows how good your writing is. So.
That was great. No, honestly, that was the best reaction I could possibly have because I had sort of different reaction, people giggling and people just stopping and saying that was them. And you said, I don't remember last time I read something that made me laugh, genuinely laugh. And that was really good for me because I mean, it's honestly, we were just strangers connecting in a call and you never know if it's going to work. I mean, after a few years, I sort of learned how to identify the characters, and this is, I mean, it's really good that when you read it, it sort of really clicked for you. And then eventually you read your lines and it really, really worked. And I feel like it was, yeah, witchy. And, similar to your role, there is Hailey Bellamy's role. She played Laura Davis, another Laura, because we have been joking about the fact that there is a lot of Lauren and Loretta in production offices. And if you guys are connected and you feel like that's true, feel free to share in the comments. I had it quite often, so that it became sort of a part of the story. And Laura, I mean, you probably saw it from my interview, from the backstage interview. She had this sort of Glinda kind of look. She was like playing the witchy nicey, like very much similar to your version, but yours I think had a level of like pro in terms of being mean, like because you you do give Jamie certain comments that honestly feel like yeah, she's honestly harsh and she's not afraid or like Laura, I think she disguises it better. She frames it in a different way. But your version was like honestly, and you can see like Jimmy, like okay,
Yeah, taking that in.
yeah.
Like, I'm this show on the outside.
Yeah, but then when you leave, there is that look that he gives back to George, and I think I loved George coming out with that sort of. He did like a very nice smile, like one of those smile that is hugging you just without hugging you. Like honestly,
yeah, just like I still see you.
Yes, yeah, and also he has genuinely like Fred Blackwood. That's his stage name. He likes to be called like that. He playing George. He looks like a very nice guy, and that for me, like thinking of him playing Jamie, I needed like he came for Jamie the first time when we had the audition, but then I felt he was. Way towards the nice guy. And Jamie, he is a nice person in general, but he is cheeky. He has this, you can tell from the way he speaks to the camera and the way he speaks to you. So I said to, the production team, I said, I want someone cheeky with kind eyes. And George, I mean, Fred certainly had the kind eyes, but I think he was missing a little bit of that cheekiness that if you met the Razum, I think he had that by nature. And that worked.
Yeah, he did.
100%.
Yeah, and I think you need that cheekiness, don't you, in order to sympathize with him a bit more because then you're like, oh, you've had those conversations with people because I know that that's what we spoke about in our initial interview, my audition rather audition about how people are always like, so what are you, because that's the line that my character starts with, so what are you working on?
Yeah,
that can feel like a knife and then being twisted, like it can be one of the nicest questions that someone can ask you, but it can also be one of the hardest questions that someone can ask you because I mean, even sometimes when you're on set, people will be like, "Oh, so have you got anything coming up next?" And you're like, "Oh my god, I'm here."
Let me live in the moment. Sometimes it's just that's the feeling. Yeah, totally.
So Jamie needs that kind of twinkle in his eye to be like, you see him being like registering the kind of the knife going in, and then
Yeah.
I'm like, "I'm okay."
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, I think definitely. I mean, Erasmus was like amazing. So and it was such a good day and like lovely to meet everybody and everybody was on good form. It was weird because it was really hot that day and we were in a nightclub in the dark.
In the dark. Tell me about it. Yeah, no, it turned out to work out really well. I feel like yeah, honestly, I think, that's also a very early scene in the movie, so it had to be, done in a certain way. And it's the one that also in post-production took the longest for various reasons. But yeah, I think the location worked really well. I think it had those nice red colors. And we had many scenes. If you watch the trailer, whoever is connected, Olivia certainly watched it, you will see a lot of colors, and that's intentional. That's my way of saying I don't give a damn about what's the desaturated look, like surgical look people want to give to their films and what the Netflix era is sort of establishing. For me, it's mainly I wanted to show how mental health is affected by going into this sort of, moving grounds where everyone as a freelancer is going through. And I felt color was the best way possible. So like going from the beginning of the movie, Jamie sort of hugging colors, but not being really in color. He's wearing black. There are the very few scenes where he's wearing black. And then eventually you see the movie and you start looking at the colors blossoming. And that to me just helped me also go back to train my brain to process colors. So I paint those stuff for me, connecting to colors is very important visually and in production design and wardrobe, but also the way the symbolism can work. Like what you're wearing in your scene is like, the red and the black, and you are perfect in the space, which is you're like leading in that space. So your colors recall the one of the location we're in, because it's like you are in your element, so to say. And Jamie is a bit more like, he's made an effort to dress up a little bit more nicely, although usually runners, you don't see them wearing anything nice on set. So it's the first time he's a bit more like touched up. And but he's a bit like outsider, and you can tell. And the way people are talking to him, it feels even more pushed out, as if you don't belong. Conversation with the producers or directors or senior, like lost that sort of enthusiasm that newcomers or younger, members of the cast and crew have in general. So yeah, I felt color was really, really meaningful. And yeah, just that dress, by the way, really suits you perfectly. I think it was.
Well, you picked it out. So.
Yeah, it was like really, really nice. Yeah, we spoke 30 minutes. I think is good time. If you have any other thing you want to add, I think I will talk with you for hours, but I know, we have to we have to call it at some point.
Yeah, no, that's so good. It was a really nice experience, and I'm really excited to see the whole thing, because yeah, once the trailer came out, I think I was one of the first people to watch it. I was like, what's this? I was so excited to see it. You said you started writing in 2023, so it's been.
Yeah, and at the time I wrote it in August 2023, and that I said it, I specified it because many people, when they watched it or heard the story or watched the trailer, they said, "Oh, it reminds me of the studio." And I love the studio. It's really well done. Love Apple TV compared to other, streaming channels, but it's like I wrote it way beyond the series came out. So there is no direct inspiration, and also our story is told from the bottom line to from the people who are the legs of the production, and the Apple TV series very much from the producer's perspective, the executive perspective, which sometimes shows that they are not so different from people who are at the bottom actually. And that's really interesting way to angle the story. Yeah, but lovely to talk with you, Olivia. It's so nice to connect with people we have worked and share, memories and ideas and concepts. And I feel like I could talk with you for hours. So, look forward to have you back. We'll see you. There's always, a 10-year gap. We'll do a reunion or stuff like that. Probably earlier. Why not? It's good to see it. Everyone is very young in this film, so it'd be good to see you guys. You'll be up to in the next even just 3 to 5 years, and looking back at and I hope you guys stay faithful to the story and feel like it still resonates with you because it means you haven't changed, at least in your heart.
Yeah, yeah. We'll have to get back together in 10 years and watch it together and be like, remember where you came from. Remember who you are.
Remember, exactly. I love that.
It's a
All right.
brilliant story, and I'm looking forward to seeing it. And it was amazing to be part of it. So thank you for trusting me with the character of Lauren.
Thank you. Thank you for being so brilliant and bringing your witchy side to that. I love that. I love that. Honestly, I said it to everybody. I showed the footage in work in progress. I like it. Look at her. Like she's stunning. You really were. Yeah, and you are. In that scene, I think you nailed it. Really, I'm really happy with how it turned out. So we'll look forward to share it with you, and then we'll be able to talk maybe, once the festival circuit has eventually been established and we have it on streaming, we can talk more openly about the scenes and just reveal more, so we don't have to hide it from whoever's listening.
Yeah, absolutely. No, that sounds great.
Awesome. Well, bye for now. Thank you so much, Olivia. And whoever is connected, if you want to reach out and share your story or whatever you're working on, just feel free to send us a message. We're going to Cannes this Wednesday. So if you are in Cannes as well, just come to say hello. I'll be there till the end of the festival days. So just please do say hello and come to connect. Bye for now. Thank you, Olivia. Thank you so much.
Ah.
Bye.